In 2015, I started apprenticing to become a consciousness development facilitator. And at that time, I had no idea what I was doing. But over the years, as I kept learning more and discovering more things, healing myself and just going on my journey of learning from different modalities, I started realizing that my own journey and my way of looking at the world is something unique. At the same time, it is something that applies to a lot of people. I started realizing that there are common elements in everyone's journey because I was working with hundreds of people during my apprenticeship. And I kept noticing that there are certain patterns that keep emerging. There are certain techniques that are very powerful. There are certain things I am learning in my own healing, in my own training that are very powerful. And from that, I started designing trainings initially just as an experiment. And as I started becoming more intentional with it and I started working with people, they started taking shape into very particular trainings. So, what has emerged from my journey are three trainings which I'm offering right now. The first is called Amplify Your Impact. This is the latest training that I have designed, which is specifically for one on one. It's the only one on one training that I offer. The other two trainings that I offer are group based and they are called Study of Self and Empowering Yourself and Others. Amplify Your Impact, I have designed it from my own personal intention to amplify my impact. During my apprenticeship, which ended in the beginning of 2023, I had been learning, I had been training, I had been healing, and I worked with a lot of people during my apprenticeship. And I also had started my own business where I was working with a few clients on a small scale because I was still experimenting and figuring out exactly what works. After doing that for 2.5 years, it felt natural for me to step into the world and start offering this training to amplify my own impact. And the way I have decided to do that is to work with people who are already making an impact in the world and to help them deepen the quality of their impact. So I don't work with scale, I work with depth, and depth scales. And people who already have scale can amplify their scale by deepening their impact. I designed this training specifically for leaders, coaches, therapists, teachers, influencers, and professionals of any kind who want to deepen the quality of their impact. I have chosen this way of working with people because there are already incredible people making a big impact in the world. And instead of becoming someone who only works directly with people and making an impact in their personal lives, I have chosen to work with people who are making impact in the world because that will help me to amplify the scale and depth of my own impact. And to have that ripple effect, I feel is my most profound way of amplifying my impact in the world. The other two trainings that I offer, Empowering Yourself and Others, is one of them. And the second is Study of Self. They both happen in groups. And I love working in groups because even when I'm working in groups, I'm working with each person at a very deep level. And by doing this in a group, we all get to learn from each other. So each person does get very high quality, deep attention and work. At the same time, the level at which we are working, there's a lot of things that are common in everyone. Your individual traumas may be different, your life circumstances may be different, but when we go down to those levels of depth, we start realizing that there are a lot of things that each of us shares. And by working in a group, when one person is working, the work is happening on everyone. And I work with very small groups so that I can give each person attention, so that I can have a personal relationship with each person and get to know them at a very deep level and help them at those levels. So, empowering yourself and others is a training I have designed just as an introduction. It's for a very limited time, between 8 to 12 weeks. Even in such a short time, it creates a very deep impact on people's lives. People transform at very deep fundamental levels. At the same time, it's just the beginning, it's just an introduction to what this work looks like. Study of self is my long term offering, which has no definite end. I offer it in 6 month and 12-month terms. And the clients that I have working with me, many of them have been with me for more than 2.5 years now, because that is the level at which we are working. Is there is really no end to this. There's always something new that we are discovering. There's always more to learn. There's always more to work. At the same time, there is no commitment. There is no binding commitment that you have to stay. Some people get what they need in 6 months and they're done. Some people do the 8 week course, they get what they need and they're done. Some people realize that they want to go deeper, that they want to learn more, that they want to keep training. And for them, there is the indefinite option to keep working with me. In all my courses, some of them may have pre recorded videos, some of them have offline work. There are several things that you can do by yourself, but the main thing is working with me. I work with each person individually to help them uncover their blockages, to help them heal their trauma, to help them see what is keeping them from the life that they really want, what is keeping them trapped, how they are creating their own prisons, and how they can use their own power to break out of it.